Hey guys. I will be right with you. I hope. Figuring out how come my computer mouse stopped working. See, Michael says, "Hey there, Yogi. Hey there, Michael. Hey, Darren. How are you, my friend? I appreciate you being here." I'm just going to make it easier for me to read, so I'm bringing up my desktop. Then we're going to chat about, I don't know. What do you guys want to chat? What do you guys want to chat about? Had a great conversation with the incredible Miss Flipper. I always enjoy it. It's now going to be a weekly thing. Praveen, my friend, how are you? Mint, nice to see you. Thank you guys for being here for that conversation. Hey, Anna. Anna says, hi, Yogi. Hi, everyone. Anna, thank you again for counting reps today. Michael says, hey there, Yogi. What's up, Michael? Hey, Lee. He says, hey, good evening, Yogi. And everyone, good evening, everyone. Mint says, you're welcome. Give me a sec. All right, Lee, the job is done. Praveen says, today my alarm rang on time. It did, my friend. Hey, Praveen, I really appreciate you being here because I know it is either very late or very early, depending on how you look at it. And it says, you're always so welcome, Yogi. It says, did you get my email address yet, Lee Lou? Hey, I was engaged with Miss Flipper in our conversation. So I didn't see a whole lot of how the live stream went. The chat. How was it this afternoon? Everything seemed pretty smooth with you guys? He said it's 3:03 here. Sepa says, cool evening this evening. Greetings, beautiful souls. So no longer heat wave for you guys. Darren says, nice to see you again, Yogi. Thanks, Darren. It's nice to see you too. So I was thinking, you guys know how much I enjoy Thursdays with Kat, Thursdays with Lucy, and now Monday is a going to be a done deal with Miss Flipper. I'd like maybe extending 30 minutes, an hour, once a week to a specific guest. I would like to have a slot of maybe like a rotating guest. Anyone here you have in mind that you think you'd love that we could ask that you think you'd love to come up and have a conversation with? Hey, Sniper, would you be interested in a panel slot, you and me? Philosophy of Squirrel Sniper, once a week, once a month, once every 2 weeks, whatever your schedule permits. I would just ask you questions. Yeah, a little bit of input. Mostly, give people an opportunity to hear a Sniper. Praveen says, so the Sniper. Anna says, how to Praveen. Michael says, Sniper, I made a home movie Faraday cage. Made a home Faraday cage for my K2 meter. Now I can observe the unknown from inside the house. I've heard you guys talk about Faraday cage before. Sniper says, sure, sound fun. Just send me What day and what time slot? Afternoon, the 1 o'clock or the 5:25 would work best for you, and we'll start whenever you want. Just notice for me how much fun I have doing it, and also uh, it gives everyone a chance to know, get to know each other, and to hear. You know, I teach yoga. I have a smattering of Buddhist experience practice, allows well some other stuff, Sufism, Kabbalah. Again, just a smattering. And I'm a long time student of A Course in Miracles. So I present that. It's my path. But like I'd love to hear Sniper come up and talk about his path, which is different than mine, but we do have um, a lot of similarities. The end result. Hey, Abigail. Lisa Sniper would be um, interesting. Be nice to ask him about his insights in more detail. Yes, it definitely would. What do you think? Anyone else? I'd like to might reach out to some Facebook friends who are also students of A Course in Miracles. Abigail says, "I miss you guys. I miss you too, Abigail." Abigail's doing amazing. Michael says, "Here's a thick plastic container and a buttload of hot glued tinfoil." So, Michael, exactly how much is a buttload? And you're absolutely sure that it was a buttload. It wasn't a buttload and a fraction. It wasn't just a smidge less than a butthole. It was you're 100% sure that it was a butthole, that it was a buttload. Abigail says, "I'm helping everyone mod tonight. Always do an excellent job." Hey, that is an excellent suggestion. Lee says, "What about your friend Teddy, Yogi?" Yes. I will reach out to her either tonight or tomorrow. Maybe I'll see her on my walk tomorrow. If my friend Elise, Empress of the New Earth, had more time, I would ask her. She knows she can always come up anyway, whenever she wants. Good idea. Michael says it's about three, about 3 sheets. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you. Mitt says, "Where's my cake, Lilo?" Hey, so can you guys refresh me one more time? What's the Faraday box going to do? Hey, Frank. Frank says, "So, everyone, happy Monday." Yeah, I'm gonna go through my Facebook connections. I have a lot of people who are non-duality teachers, presenters, talkers that you guys might find interesting. Frank, how are you? Simple says, "I was born into religion, Sunday school, Christian boarding school. I questioned myself early before my teens and found myself on a less religious and more spiritual path, looking into esoterica." So that's not my path, but I am familiar enough with much of that that I think I could ask some key questions to allow you to talk about it at length. Michael says it's to protect the gadget from the Earth electromagnetic field. So what gadget are we talking about? And I believe I asked you this before, but I'm not remembering. Lee says, "Sniper, I'll have questions. You know me, I don't know much on spirituality." Hey, but you know what? This is why I reached out to you, Lee. You are You're living it. You're expressing it. This is why the spiritual teacher Wayne Dyer said, "Don't be a Buddhist, be a Buddha. Don't be a Christian, be Christ-like. Just be nice." Darren says, "What's your favorite food, Yogi?" It's a good question. I really like oatmeal. I really like lentils. Darren, you're relatively new. You may as well find out the deep weirdness of Yogi right off the bat. I literally eat the same thing every day. No joke. Hey, Selma. Nightmare says, just arrived. Please repeat everything from the beginning. Well, are we talking about beginning all the way at the morning live stream up until now? Or just from this live stream? Cat says YouTube was being crazy. What's going on with YouTube? Stepper says, Eric, it shields against anything from static and non-static electromagnetic charges. Gotcha. Someone says, Eric with Chicken is live. Did you go over there to say hi? Mint says, what happened, Cat and Jack? Nightmare says, if it's not too much of an answer, of course not. Nightmare, anything for you. Someone says, yes, I did. How's it going? How's this live stream going? I'm sorry, I'm not there myself. I know Maddie was live for a while. I was hanging out with him. I got to see Chloe's baby bump. And it was pretty awesome. It is a pretty awesome baby bump. He's doing stretches. Stretches or burpees? Let me see if I can find him. Least I can do is pop in and say hi. There he is. It is the burpee show. Guys, if you want to head on over, say hi to Eric Lapointe. Tell him I sent you. Support our people. And if you want to know who our people are, everybody. No exceptions. And Eric Lapointe has been our people for a long time. I didn't catch who it was that was Prager's, but congrats. No F's, no frills, no mercies. Wife, Chloe. Hey, Runner Boy. Runner Boy says, so, I just arrived, so please repeat everything that's been said from the start. I'm going to start with the fact that Nightmare came in and he said he just got here. Can I please repeat everything from the start? So that's where we're going to start. What's up, Runner Boy? The time is drawing near for Runner Boy. He's going to be heading to Africa. He's climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Hey, how long of a ascent is that, Runner Boy? Do you know? Snapper says, Lee, I was punished for questioning why we were taught the New Testament and not the Old Testament first. Punished by the men that were between me and what I thought God was. Man, Christian schools sure do like to punish, don't they? Hey, Chloe. Chloe is so cute. Said hi. Welcome back, my friend. Hey, Bud Files. How are you? 5 days up. Uh, 1 day down to camp, and then 1 day down the rest of the mountain. I guess you need 5 days to acclimate for the altitude. Excellent question. Well, Run a Boy, run up Kilimanjaro. They do have a race going up Kilimanjaro, and Wim Hof, he did it barefoot, gym shorts, no shirt. You guys ever heard of Reinhold Messner? He says Run a Boy's training has been tough. I think he said in excess of 100 miles in the last few days. Nice. My top mileage in a week for doing an ultra was about 120 miles in a week. I did close to 100 miles in a weekend. I did double runs Saturday morning, Saturday late afternoon, and then I woke up and did um, the same distance Sunday morning, and then uh, increased the distance Sunday night. So I think on in one day I did about 90. In 2 days in a weekend I did about 96 miles. But I was determined to finally put that not finishing the 100 behind me. Just like training too. Hey Reggie, I appreciate the like. Super Champ, how are you, my friend? Woman says, yeah, I believe it's around 100 k going up since they take a long way up. Someone says, I miss Shirley. I do too. I definitely do. But we can send her some love. Super says, my teachers must have spent a lot of time repenting if they were that close to their God. Sip says, Selma, she told me, and a minute earlier, she may not be around much today, but she didn't. She did say, uh, but she didn't say, worry, she'll be here. Nami says, what happened with Shirley? She okay? She's okay. There will probably be a there'll probably be a fair amount of people that are not going to be hanging out. I've been a lot of people have told me that they will not be here. They will not be hanging out. It's sad. I understand. It's okay. I It's the way it works. You know. He says, Nightmare, she may be along in a minute. I'm just guessing. Thank you, Praveen. Super Champ says, Yogi, I'm doing somewhat bad, but it's all okay. Um, all I can do is move on. What about you? What's going on, Super Champ? Corner Boy says, my tea is dry. Put some water in it. Cat says, I am hanging out. And that always fills my heart, knowing that. Nightmare says, Yogi, what have you done this time? You know, Nightmare, just being myself. You know, show up, be obnoxious. But is water wet or dry? I only buy the wet stuff. I'm not going to spend extra for dry water. And then I got to add water to my water to get water, and I spend extra money for that. Ridiculous. So, do you want to? You don't need to let us know what's going on, super artist. But if you want to, we're here for you, my friend. Can you make water wet? Is the real question. So much jumped in my mind that I just decided not to say. Super artist says, honestly, I've been crying a lot lately when I have the opportunity to do so, and I don't really know what the reason is. Perhaps it's some kind of accumulation of holding back over time. You know what? I don't think you need to know. I think it's okay not to know. And super artists, if you're ever around um early, I don't know what time it would be for you. It would be before my morning live stream. If you go and hang out with Kat and Jack on her morning live stream, she has talked a bit about crying, the benefits of crying. It's good for you. Boy says that's my secret, Yogi. I'm always wet. I told you I wasn't going to go down there. All right, I should have said that either. Um, I need to back out of this conversation very, very slowly. Two-Parter says, Runner Boy, that's a brilliant question when you really think about it. Runner Boy says, okay, too much. Just a little. Praveen says, sir, I love their comments on my short videos. Thank you, Praveen. I will always make it. I'm always doing my best to make it. If they don't pop up by themselves, I look for them. I've been fortunately they pop up. Nightmare says, whoa there. Runner Boy says, Seb, I have 20 pounds of oranges, 20 kilograms of oranges. Praveen says, Auntie, I love your comments on my video. Anna sent us some prayers to Super Champ. And Mint says, yes, Cat Jack is a lovely person. She sure is. Runner Boy says, Lee, the true answer is I carry a dry sack, and Portis carry the night sack. Super Champ says, to determine whether or not water is wet, we have to ask the question, what is the definition of something being wet? Way to turn that into a deeply philosophical question. Alan Watts says you can't get wet by the word water. Just a metaphor for you can't know God by talking about God. You can only experience God. You can't know awakening unless you awaken. You can't talk about it. You can offer all kinds of descriptions of love, but it's never love. The Course Miracle says, words are but symbols twice removed. The Tao Te Ching begins with the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. And in Zen, they say, when you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. Poor Buddha. Super Artist says, water itself on the molecular level is indeed wet because it's made out of hydrogen combined with oxygen, aka H2O. But when it is inside a cup, then no, it's not wet unless the only way for a cup of water to be wet It's very cold and gets warmer over a period of time until the cup itself sweats from the outside. That made no sense to me. I saw that, Praveen, that you taught her some Hindi. Hey, Praveen, um, how close is the connection between Sanskrit and Hindi? I know that Hindi stems from Sanskrit, but how close? Wonderboy says, did you know that we all have hundreds of tiny microscopic spiders that live in hair follicles on us? I did not know they were spiders. I know that we actually consist more microbes than we do human cells. So when people love to argue with free will without taking into account that microbes have their say and they constitute the majority of who we are. So who is it that actually has free will? Did I just say that, or are the microbes forcing me to say that? Am I held hostage by microbes? And do you want to escape your microbes? The truth is, humanly, we don't want to because we have a symbiotic relationship with them. Very useful. He says, "Runner boy, I'm getting the clippers out now. I'm going zero mode. I'm going zero mode." Well, I talked about that this morning. Nightmare. Nightmare says, "How does a squirrel hold such a heavy sniper rifle?" It's a question I've been asking. It's been eating away at me. Well, Sniper's going to come up and have a conversation with us. He's going to let me know when. These are the questions that you can ask him. Danny waves at Anna and Bud File. Super Artist says, Running Boy, the water becomes a cup and not the other way around, in my opinion, because you can put anything inside a cup. So what is inside the cup becomes the cup. If you pour orange juice inside a cup, then orange juice becomes the cup. Praveen says, I know 40% Sanskrit learned in school back in 2003, 4, 5, and 6. After that, no use of Sanskrit, so 60% I forgot. But how closely is Hindi and Sanskrit? You guys are getting way too mathematical for me. Mint says, how's it going, Danny? Hey, Sebastian. How are you, my friend? Danny says hi to Chloe. Super Artist says, Running Boy, you have pushed me to my limits. I wouldn't know how to answer that. Already answered. See if I can find that. Completely opposite. Gotcha. Gotcha. Temper says, Eric, what if Buddha knows better Kung Fu? Interesting. He was raised a prince. He was a Hindu prince. So probably was fairly formidable in martial arts. And Bodhidharma, who left India to teach the Dharma, to teach Buddhism, many stops along the way, he brought Indian martial arts to China to help train monks take care of themselves, but in a non-harmful fashion. And that eventually became Kung Fu. And then you had the Shaolin monks. There's a group of monks in Japan, Buddhist monks, who run a marathon a day, circumnavigating a mountain for, I believe, I'm drawing a blank how many years. It's a couple years, I believe. Have you heard of them, the Marathon Monks, Sniper? Hey, Share Bear. Richard says, Mitch says, Yogi, what is the easiest way to find calmness when you're in a depressive state of mind and feel entrapped in yourself? Easiest way. I'm going to go with breath work. I love meditation. Before I was a breathwork coach, I was a meditation teacher. Meditation is incredible. It's an awesome tool. And there are different forms of um, meditation that we can be used in different situations. If you are um, feeling antisocial, if you are down on yourself, you can do metta meditation, which is loving kindness. You can do forgiveness Buddhist meditation. But meditation is a journey. Breath work is immediate. And conversely, you can get about 95% of the benefits of meditation with breath work. So it can open us up, it can make us feel more expansive when we do breath work, as well as self inquiry, which is the um, jhana yoga, to the path of yoga, and it is exploring who we are. When you find out who you really are, things begin to change. How would you like to do some breath work, Mint? We have not done any tonight. We did some this morning, right? What did we do this morning? I know I did some with Miss Flipper. We did the 4-4. Wonder Boy says, yes, I've seen that mountain, the monks run up. I think there was a show about it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Please says, sir, you have so much love for India, and I'm eagerly calling us to India. Sir, come visit India, and we'll be staying in my home. That would be awesome. Praveen, it would be awesome. Man, if I ever work up the will to travel, obviously first stop Tennessee, in the works. And then on to India. It's a big swoop. Tennessee, it makes sense. You go from here, this is Maryland, you swoop down to Tennessee, and then you swoop on over to India. And then from India, I swoop back over to Tennessee, and I go back home. We got some squirrel questions. We'll see what squirrel has to say. What is the most dominant squirrel? Nightmare says, apologies, sir, skipping between yourself and LP. No, that's okay. I have him up right here. So I'm skipping back and forth too, Nightmare. Hey, Toy Pups. And it says meditation is a journey. Yes. Hey, Mint, just let me know if you want to do some breath work. What I'd like to do, if you're interested, is an actual 5-minute session of breath work. I mentioned before the benefits of extending your breath work past that 10 breath. That's when some real magic. 10 breaths is perfect. Hey, Heavenly Star. Oh, I missed you singing again. I'm so sorry. Hey, is it still up on your channel? Can I check it out after this live stream? He says, Sniper, that's sad. The boys asked that today. Why are there no red ones? And I said, I'll tell you tomorrow. Super Artist says, anyone have any straw hat questions? How could we not? Me, I haven't visited a whole lot of countries. I've been to Canada. Sebastian drops a link. Thank you, Sebastian. Guys, remind me to take my supplement in about 10-ish minutes. Mint says, yes, sir, I would be happy to do more breath work. Hey, Dan. Dan says, it's yogi time. Anyone else interested in doing some breath work with us? Seba says he loves all the horror films of the 70s and 80s. You know, it's all makeup and great effects. How you doing, Dan? He says, Mint is a product of the household. As our friend Nightmare said the other day, in good company, we elevate and mirror the love. Nightmare says he must visit Europe one day. Sir, I recommend Spain and Italy, Spain or Italy. Is there a reason why you're not recommending Scotland? Heavenly Stars says, Zafin says, Runner Boy, you're awesome, bro, for hanging out with us in my stream. Hope my thing didn't scare you. Nightmare says, thanks. Dan says, doing well, man. Got a bunch of cheap tools, flea market, and garage sales. Should visit the Red District. The Red District in where's the Red District? That's in Denmark, right? What was that can replace and lose? Nightmare says there are thousands of reasons, Yogi. Yeah, but I get, you know, for me, Scotland, Ireland, it's the motherland. He says it was nice to hang out with Runner Boy today, get to know him a little bit better. You getting tired, Praveen? Sebastian, his subscriber is now 10,278. Well done, my friend. Hey, Evan. It's in Holland. Gotcha. Have you been there, Evan? Sebastian says fully ripe reds will go where the food source is. Pine trees of Scotland. Evan has been there. Runner Boy says, what do you do there? That's a good question. I haven't forgotten you, Mint, about some breath work. I'm waiting for that opportune time. Hey, Kat, are you still with us? You want to do some breath work? Super Artist says, I would like to apologize for something. What do you got, Super Artist? And you know you never need to or have to apologize for anything. Here, nothing the matter with an apology. But man, I think about the time you've spent here Nothing. You got nothing, my friend. Clean as a whistle. Never understood that expression because people slobber all over whistles. They're not very clean. If you found a whistle on the ground, would you like just wipe it off on your shirt and put it in your mouth and start blowing? I don't think so. Evan says you have sex with like four hot model chicks and your friend all at the same time. So why would I have to go to the red light district for that? Wonder Boy does not forgive, nor does he forget. He has a list. Mint says, yes, we do, Lee. We can only be at one with ourselves when we have good company around us who enlighten us and value our time. We can grow stronger together as one, and thank you all who is there. Wonder Boy says, Yogi, red light district is 18 plus, just so you know. So I should wait a few years. Richard says, give us faith and humbleness. We talked about faith and humbleness today, Mint. Zephyr says, it's just people go to. Hey, Nightmare, are you here or are you over at La Points? Edinburgh. That's for Nightmare. They must see the city that's hidden under their own city. People says, I might seem kind of compassionate, and that may be true, but when I get angry at something or someone, I feel as though my actions in the moment of anger make me feel like a hypocrite. No, just means that you're angry. Super Champ. All it means is that you're angry. Evan says you don't have to go unless you want to. I don't. Runaway says, no, Evan, he has to go. It's the prophecy. Nope, Runaway. Prophecy's got to wait now. Evan says they don't have to go. Prophecy has been canceled, Runaway. But definitely, whatever you do, don't visit Glasgow. How did Glasgow get so bad? Evan says, yo. You've traveled a lot, Evan. Evan Star says, I'm Evan. No one needs to know that. So, Mint, what you're saying about coming to being one or knowing ourselves as one through the lens of other people, that's the entirety really of A Course in Miracles. Yoga, you can retreat. Buddhism, you can retreat. And many of them did. Yogis in a cave or in an ashram. And I went that route. Not in a cave, but I retreated very much. Course in Miracles says no, relationships are for enlightenment. Relationships are how we awaken. You guys are my spiritual practice. Zephyr says Edinburgh. Yes, but Nightmare likes when I say Edinburgh. Nightmare will actually ask me to say Edinburgh. So that's why I said this one's for you. Back to going to bed, Praveen. Good night, Yogi Sir, Sniper, Anna. Hey, Praveen, are you still here? Have you gone to bed yet? If you're still here, I want to say happy birthday to your wife. Happy birthday to Canon Foodie. Evan says it went when I was 30 with my girlfriend. I loved Holland. Hey, Eric. Sir Ashley's here. Maddie's here. Dropping a like, Miss Yogi, before my bed, my friend. Hey, I was talking about having the privilege of seeing Chloe's belly today. And what a glorious belly it was. Heavy says I sang a lot of new songs for Yogi Bear. Man, I'm Sorry that I missed that, Heavenly. I apologize. To take my supplement. Stepper says, not too surely. That's come from that deep dark tunnels of YouTube. Truth or rabbit holes. Richard says, I've been through some hard times. I went down some scary roads, and then I found skateboarding, which helped me with my recovery. And I've hit rock bottom before too. Tried to end my life because I felt no. Hey, Rosie, thanks for being here. I got it right in my hand. Rosie, did you get some sleep? Heavy says, Brother Minty, how did I do with the new songs? Heavenly, did I miss your answer when I asked if I'd be able to watch them? Do you still have your stream up? Heavenly says, managed to catch Heavenly singing earlier. She was great. Rosie says, perfect timing. It was. I might have forgotten without you, though. There is no purpose, but here I am today with a new vision in life, and I've learned that you can find nice, genuine people who have uplifted my spirits too, as you have for others. Mint, I see you. I see you over at Daisy's. I see you at Skitz's. And you're doing that. You're uplifting people. A life of service is what it's all about. And all of us can live a life of service. Imagine waking up in the morning and asking, how may I serve? I posted it earlier. I'm not sure if I can find it. Allow you, I wonder, imagine if you allowed yourself to be directed by God from the moment you woke up. If you had that level of trust. If you don't like the word God, use something else. Heavenly says, I don't know if my voice will handle singing right now. Nightmare says, Ben is a good dude. He certainly is. Super Artist says, Rosie, please take care of yourself and sleep 9 full hours. Man, I wonder what it would be like to sleep 9 hours, or 8 hours, or 7 hours, or even 6. Occasionally I catch 6. Not often. It says, oops, I read that. Evan says, Eric, Google what festivals are going on this weekend and go check them out. Not a chance. I've been to so many Grateful Dead shows. I don't know how many Grateful Dead shows I've been to. Not just because there's a lot of them. Not just because there was a lot of them. As well as other concerts, other festivals, other stuff. Done it all. I've done it. I've done it. I like what I do. Every day. I love what I do. But I appreciate your concern, Evan. And by the way, Evan, thanks for coming in to work out this morning. Mint says, no matter where you see me, I always give my heart and try to help people when they feel down. It's who I have become and will not be any different. Hey, Mint, can I ask you a question? Evan says, Eric, I did sleep clinic on Saturday. It was so weird. It had lots of wires hooked up. How can you study sleep when they make you so uncomfortable that you can't sleep? That's what I want to know. He says, "Good night, Jessica." Did I miss Jessica? There she is. I wanted to come in and say good night to everyone. Good night, Jessica. Jessica, um, I promised Mint to do some breath work. If you're still here and you would like to do breath work, we'll do it now. Like right this instant. Just give me the word. Nightmare says, Lee, my mother would sing Celine Dion when I was a child. Those songs are stuck in my memories. So you're saying Friday you want to come up and sing a Celine Dion song? We can make that happen. Sing Country Road for Yogi Bear. Man, I'm definitely going to go look. Thank you so much, Heavenly Star. I average about 5 hours of sleep a night, super artist. But I do take a nap and I meditate twice a day for extended periods. And I used to do it every day, but I don't any longer. Practice Yoga Nidra, which is Jessica says, sure. All right, guys, I'm going to step out of the live stream for about 5 minutes. All right, not 5 minutes. I did want to do an extended one, but because it's later and because Jessica's going to bed, we're just going to do our usual 10 rounds. And we're going to do breathing in for 4. We're going to exhale for 8. Hey, Stitch, is anyone stuffed up? How's your nasal breathing right now? Heaven's going to get some water. Richard says, I'm ready. Anna says, I sleep 5 hours too, Yogi. Stitch says, Duncan, Duncan, Duncan. She also said, cat, cat, cat. Stitch says, hi. Oh, you're stuffed up. All right, gotcha. If anyone is ever stuffed up, not stuck up, and you want to clear your nasal passage, breathe in the best that you can. Exhale all the air. On the exhalation, when the air is gone, hold your nose, shake your head. Breathe in. Repeat. Hold until you feel a palatable air hunger. Not a panic, but just enough where you feel, okay, it's time to breathe. And then breathe in. Stuck up, something different. It is something different. Anna is ready. So if anyone is stuffed up, try that a few times. Evan says Eric can put your tongue into the nose hole like yogi people do. I cannot, but I've seen people do it before. I've seen people do some crazy tongue stuff. Sure, if you want to, super artist. I just want to. All right, Jessica is ready. All right. So if you're stuffed up, I'm not going to do any fancy breathing. We're going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to exhale for a count of 8. Let's see if our friend Super Champ comes up real quick. I know Jessica is ready for bed, so Super Artist, we're going to wait because I'm going to get the breath work done so that Jessica can go to bed. So, Jessica and Mint and Anna. Anyone else? Rosie says, I want to join the breath work. Awesome, Rosie. Hey, Skeeter. How are you, my friend? Let's go ahead and close our eyes. We're going to breathe in. If you're doing that nasal passage, breathe in however you can. If you're too stuffed up to breathe in, take a deep breath through your nose, breathe in through your mouth, hold, You want to press, shake your head. Um, and for you, nightmare, walk. Do it while you're walking. When you need to take that breath, take it and then repeat and do it. Do it a few times. All right. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Hey, I'm somebody. Hey, somebody. Close your eyes and take a breath in through the nose, sigh through the mouth. Do that one more time. Breathing in, sigh. One more time. Breathing in. This time, double sip. Exhale. Because I love you the most, Nightmare. All right. We're relaxed. Breathe in and breathe out. I'm going to count to 3. We're going to use that ujjayi breath, that ha sound, as if we're fogging up a bathroom mirror, but with the mouth shut. And we do it when we breathe in, we do it when we breathe out. The best that you can. Count of 3. We're going to breathe in for 4. We're going to exhale for 1, 2, 3. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last breath together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep your eyes closed for just a moment longer, resting in this spot. Just resting, allowing the breath to fall back into its own natural rhythm. At ease. When you're ready, open your eyes, and I'll see you in the chat. Yep, different breathing pattern. Cece, welcome in, my friend. Heavenly says, yay. Hey, kitty cat. Heavenly is ready. Super Artist says that was probably the first time I ever, that I perfectly did breath work on this live stream. Hey, definitely come up on the stream, and I can address your breath. We can look at it and see what might need to be tweaked a little bit. You're welcome, Jessica. Good night, my friend. I love you. Super Artist says my nostrils feel cleaner and I feel relaxed. Heavenly Star says very calming. Jessica says good night, y'all. That was amazing. Thanks again. You're welcome, Richard. Hey, Mint. I think yoga, the entirety of yoga, would be very helpful for you. As soon as I say yoga, people think, you're welcome, Rosie. People think the asanas, the postures. But yoga is actually a spiritual path that has very little to do ultimately with the postures, although the postures are very helpful. They allow us to sit longer in meditation. They open up the energy centers, not just the chakras, but the nadis, which are the energetic. Think of them as sort of Christmas tree lights that string up the spine and down the spine. You're welcome, Anna. Anna says I feel relaxed and happy. Starting to yawn. Super Artist says, now I'm going to get something to eat because I'm trying to bulk. Are you on a specific diet? Mint says chakra. So you have the chakra system, but you also have the nadis. And of course, there's the subtle body, the etheric body. In yoga, they're called koshas. The food body, the pranic body, which relates to the breath. It's that prana is that energy that animates all life. Everything has prana in it to varying degrees. And then you have the astral body, the intelligence body, and then the bliss body, super consciousness body, God body. Roughly speaking. What do you notice, Super Champ? So, Mid, we'll do breath work any live stream that you ask for it. One more yawn. Sorry. We're going to call it an evening in just a few minutes. Super Champ says, Yogi, I don't follow any specific diet. I just eat home's food. Gotcha. So unless you're following the entirety of the yogic path, if you're doing the asanas, you're just stretching. Beneficial? Yes. Yoga, the path that I'm talking about, Raja Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, begins with ethical points, what they call yamas, which are 5 restrictions that we put in place. They're restrictions because when you restrict from one behavior or one thought pattern, the opposite grows. So it begins with non harmfulness. When you practice non harmfulness, peace grows. When you practice non stealing, you get more abundant. When you practice only telling the truth, lying, not lying, non lying, then you master the art of manifestation because whatever you say must come to fruition. Otherwise, you wouldn't say it. And then you have the niyamas, which are 5 personal observances, cleanliness being one, self study and inquiry being another, discipline being another. Those are the first 2. Then you have the postures. Then you have prana, what we just did, the pranayama, breathing exercises. And then you have withdrawal of the senses. And then you have 3 stages of meditation to make that 8 path. Other yoga practices as well, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga. But anyway, man, I think it would be very helpful. Mint says, Yogi, I'm having to do breath work in all streams possible. So I'm live 3 times a day, every day. Perfect, because everyone should do breath work, pranayama 3 times a day, and therapeutically as needed. But it should be the breath that fits the mood. Hey, Erica Point. I was checking in and out with you. Actually, I see you flexing right now. Hey, our friend Brian Lane is live streaming. Hey, so here's the thing. I'm gonna wind things down. Brian Lane is he would like some watch hours. Brian Lane should be monetized. He's a good person. When I say he's a good person, I don't mean like in that, hey, he's a good guy. Things that we say. I mean, he is deeply, deeply a good person. If you guys want to head over there and give him some watch hours. Sniper says, what a lovely stream tonight. It was nice, Sniper. Thank you guys for making it so. Back Point gives us a salute. It says, Nightmare Brother. Hey, Heart Matters. One of the interesting things about flexibility is a lot of it is actually just tricking your nerves into being less responsive in deeper positions. Got you. Of course, the yoga asanas aren't really about flexibility. That's a benefit, but it's about being comfortable within your body, opening up the energetic systems, the chakras and the nadis, and being able to sit longer in meditation. But most importantly, for Mint, what I was thinking, it's nothing worse than being uncomfortable in your own body, feeling like you don't belong. Then it says I was telling Yogi that you just got done warming up, LP. Mushy peas and bedtimes. We'll skip the mushy pea and we'll just go to bed. Mint says mushy peas. Nightmare says mushy peas. What are you all ganging up on poor old me, man? What did I ever do to you guys? Nothing but love here. Even my cat came over and said mushy peas. In cat language, of course. All right. So, guys, you got time to head on over to Brian Lane? You can tell him I said hi. As well, I think Mark and Joe might still be live. I'm not sure. Anyway, as for me, I'm wrapping things up. I'm tired. Harmata says body dysmorphia is at a all-time high. That's for sure. Hey, do you think it's higher for guys than it is for girls? But do you think it's more disguised for guys? Men don't like to talk about it, but is bodybuilding a form of body dysmorphia? Extreme bodybuilding, when you take it, where you're taking performance enhancing supplements as well. The synthol, shooting your body full of oil. Rosie says, I'm on Yogi's side. Thank you, Rosie. Finally, someone sticks up for Yogi. It's Rosie and I against the world. She's got my back, I got her back. Super Artist says, body dysmorphia. I don't really struggle with that, but I do struggle with strength dysmorphia. Well, is it strength dysmorphia or is it, I don't know if that is actually the case. Thank you, Anna. Mint says, take care, everyone. Hope you all have a blessed and lovely night. And sleep well. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Mint, for being here. Heart Matter says, I think body dysmorphia is slightly higher for girls, particularly young girls who are in age of their life, where they're looking for someone to date. Gotcha. Emma says, you shall never defeat the. Why did I think you didn't like mushy peas? Thank you, Eric. Thank you for help making it so. Always. Super Artist says, I think body dysmorphia depends from each person to another. It's all about the mental. You either focus too much on the small flaws or you straight up don't care and just enjoy working out. Gotcha. Crazy says, yes, I always have my best friend back. I knew I could count on you. Super Champ says, everyone speaks about body dysmorphia, but nobody speaks about strength dysmorphia. It's interesting. You and I will have a talk about that this week. Nightmare says, I don't, but I enjoy tormenting you, Sword. Nightmare, I'm really glad you have a hobby. I worry about you. And now that I know that I can occupy a fruitful and productive, I feel like I'm your spiritual path. That you gain an immense amount of spiritual satisfaction, and tormenting me. Why could I not say that word? Um, I feel like I'm serving a purpose now. Nightmare, you have given my life purpose. Before I was just wandering in the dark. Now Nightmare has offered a light. My torment provides a never ending source of amusement for my friend Nightmare. Hey, Mohammed. I'm glad you are home and enjoying yourself, Mohammed. Love to you and your family. Parmatter says it's rare for me to meet a young girl who hasn't considered some sort of plastic surgery or a dramatic change to the body. But I wonder if guys just don't talk about it though. Stephen says I had a bulimia when I was around 10 years old. Wow. Was that athletic directed? Did you do it because you thought by doing something specific to your body it would make you a better athlete? I know you were a swimmer and dancer. Nightmare says, there you go. It's all for you, Nightmare. You guys ever seen The Omen? When the lady's up on the ledge, was it a nun? And she's saying, Damien, Damien, it's all for you, Damien. And she steps off the ledge. What a super freaky scene. Reggie says, hi to Anna, and sorry if I missed anyone in the chat. Super Champ says, my apologies. Muhammad says, thank you so much, Yogi. I'm doing well. My mom says hello. For all you and friends, she's here with me. Hello to Muhammad's mom. People says, I respect all dancers. The bravery to dance in front of the world is truly impressive. You guys ever seen Billy Elliot? Says, I think I just got compared to a nun. You know it's not the first time you've been compared to a nun before. Cypher says exactly that, Eric. I think it's more prevalent than people realize in men and boys. Mitch laughing, says Nightmare. The scene at the end of Billy Elliot. I like Billy Elliot. One of my favorite movies. The scene at the end when we finally see the young adult Billy and he's getting ready to dance. His father had never seen him dance like that before, nor his brother. And Billy, the curtains lifted, and Billy leapt out, a powerful leap. Guys, what's a male ballet dancer called? If you're female, you're a ballerina. I don't know what the male dancer is called. Yogi Cat will be back, Rosie. Anyway, when he leapt out, his father let out this gasp, that closing scene. Like he'd never seen anything as powerful or as beautiful before. Dancing at its best can invoke that. But even at its lower level, I spent my teenage years dancing at Grateful Dead shows. Dancing, I use that word loosely, but it was very tribal. Harmatter says it's definitely true that more than half of all young men and women have dysmorphia of some kind. So, do you think bodybuilding is the way it is now? Uh, Dysmorphia? Why would you fill your body up with oil for appearance? Why would you take steroids knowing the later consequences? Do not have the answers. Well, we could always trace it back to something, one thing, and we'll do that tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to go to bed. Nightmare says, safe to stream, Yogi. Good night, everyone. Good night, Nightmare. Love you guys. I will see everyone later. Dance sore. Dance sore. Got you. Thank you. I did not know that. All right, guys. Like I said, I love you. Pop in. Say hi to Brian Lane, please, if you don't mind. Mil Bannerita is a dance sore. Thank you, Power Matters. All right. Love you guys.